lot more. Connect with us via our YouTube channel at ConsumerHallaTV. Follow us on our Facebook page, ConsumerHallaTV, our Instagram page, ConsumerHallaTV, and
Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing, right to return goods, right to product labeling, right to fair dealings, and a lot more.
well then, have you heard about the new media channel?
ConsumerHallaTV.
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 At ConsumerHallaTV, our goal is to inform and educate consumers in Nigeria with insightful news alongside development within the fast-paced world of consumers through well-researched, specialized, and analytical content.
Our vision at ConsumerHallaTV is to create an engaging platform that provides right connections for meaningful brands in Nigeria, thus creating a more caring world for consumers where business thrives.
And guess what? Our ConsumerHalla brand is the first consumer complaint resolution portal in Nigeria, powered by a 72-hour feedback mechanism. We offer consumer advocacy, informative talk shows, branding promotions, advertising, and lots more. Connect with us via our YouTube channel at ConsumerHallaTV. Follow us on our Facebook page, ConsumerHallaTV, our Instagram page, ConsumerHallaTV, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscription is free. ConsumerHallaTV. At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
Alright, welcome back on LD Living, a show on ConsumerHallaTV, where we speak extensively on everything that amounts to our health. Varieties of things, topics that are yet to be dissected. And this is the first ever segment of its kind on ConsumerHallaTV. We've been speaking extensively on diet. Diet is a part of LD Living, and with me in the studio all day and almost every other day is Miss Tumininu Olufora, a renowned nutritionist that will be taking us on the journey of health and how we can improve our lifestyle. Mr. Minino, we've been asking you questions all day, and it's very interacting because you're giving answers that are direct and simple, that are basic, that every other person can understand. And this brings me to my next question so that we can round off on the show. You spoke about vitamins and minerals, and these are fruits, these are vegetables, these are things that most Nigerians don't really eat. We just eat rice, carbohydrates. Most of our food is carbohydrates, and I don't think we get nutritional value off of these foods because we have a lot of things that are affordable in the market that we can buy, that we can get, and these are the things I just want you to quickly explain to us, because if you're talking about fruit, what types of fruits are there? Specific fruits that would give us these minerals, or all types of fruit can give us these minerals and vitamins?
Okay, fruits and vegetables. If you don't have any underlying health conditions that they've told you, oh, cut off this particular food, you're free to eat any fruit, any vegetable. There's no restriction for you, because all fruits and all vegetables will give you minerals and vitamins. So there's no restriction for you. And let's not forget, even fruits and vegetables will give you fiber, because fiber is also very important in your body. It aids digestion, it helps your metabolism, it helps with your growth, and it helps you to go to the toilet, because you can hear of some people that have constipation, they have diarrhea. Those could have resulted from less fiber in their system. So fiber is also very important. You can get fiber from nuts, you can get fiber from fruits, you can get fiber from vegetables. So fruits, vegetables give you vitamins and minerals, and also fiber.
Thank you very much. You've spoken really direct and simple. Going to the toilet is a part of our life, and it is very, very important that we go to the toilet. If you don't have the opportunity to go to the toilet, trust me, you're either going to be admitted in the hospital to pay a large amount of money just to use the loo, and that's very funny, but it's very important and can be very dangerous. People die from these kind of things. Constipation is a very hurtful, it's painful. It's just, if you've not been constipated before, you don't know what God has done for you. We should always be careful about what we take and how much we eat. Vegetables and minerals are very important. Please, ma, how often should we eat per day? Some people say 3, some people say 5, some people say you can go as high as you want. And we've spoken about calories. Eating more per day or eating less per day, I know it will affect our calorie calculation because it deals with calculation and it deals with whatever you take into your system. But how often should we eat per day?
Okay, how often should you eat per day? You're free to go all around. Some people can eat 8 times in a day. That's on you. Because when you see babies, like newborn babies, they can feed up to 20 times a day and nothing is happening to them. It just depends on the quantity they are given. Because we say breast milk, they can suck 20 times a day. Those are eating being fed food, they can eat up to 20 times a day. They eat now, leave the small portion of food and come back for it later. So they're eating a lot. But then it doesn't mean that what they're eating too much or too little, because their mother has already calculated that, oh, if I give this child this amount of food in 2 hours, this should be the quantity that the child would have eaten by the end of the day. So you're free to go all around, but know the quantity of food you're eating, so you don't overeat and you don't undereat.
Thank you very much. And for the last question of the day is the misconception about diet. I know we've spoken a little bit about it, but what are the misconceptions that we tend to find about diet? People don't understand that, oh, this is what diet is. In just probably like few words, what are really the misconceptions about diets?
Okay. So there's a particular misconception that people have about diet, and that deals with weight management. People feel, oh, when I eat, if I skip meals, I tend to lose weight. But the truth about that is, just because you're skipping meals doesn't mean you're going to lose weight. In fact, you might lose weight at that moment, but by the time you eat, you're going to gain that weight back. And you might even gain it in excess. So when you want to lose weight or you want to do weight management, it's advisable not to cut or skip meals, but to reduce your quantity of food. So you're still eating your 3 times a day or 4 times a day, but you're reducing the quantity in which you're eating, so that by the time you're eating the food, you're losing weight, but you're still eating in the same pattern you were eating before.
Thank you very much. The show has been very interesting and impactful, lesson filled, and it has been fun in the studio with Miss Tuminino Olufora, a nutritionist, that has helped us dissect the topic diet. We wouldn't be taking much of our time because we are done on the segment today, and she has advised us greatly about weight management, seeking professional help when it regards our health, also the moderation of fat, proteins, carbohydrates, and all other classes of food. We've come to the end of the show, but I would like to ask her for just one little advice that partakes to healthy living. In just a little bit of words, how can we improve our healthy living, or what advice would you give to youth of today?
Okay, the advice I'll give is eat, exercise, and sleep. People tend to forget that exercise and sleep are also important when you're trying to live healthy, because all they think about is, oh, food. But then if you're eating this food and you're not able to work it out or exercise it in a way that it gives you the nutrient that is needed, you tend to gain too much weight and thereby causing health problems to yourself. So you need to exercise. And then for sleep, you need adequate sleep for these nutrients to work their purpose in your body. So sleep.
Oh, Thank you so much. It means to me. And thank you for coming and joining us on the show today. We're very grateful because your lessons and your words speaks volume and they make us understand the things that we don't understand. Thank you very much for joining the show. Also, as I've said, we've come to the end of the show for today on healthy living. Don't forget to always join us by 5 o'clock to 5:50 p.m. Every Monday of the week to come and stay tuned with us on healthy living on ConsumerHallaTV. But before I go, I don't know if I've mentioned that you need to download our ConsumerHallaTV mobile app where you can make complaints and also take surveys on every product that has served you. And have you also followed us across all social media platforms: Facebook at ConsumerHallaTV, Instagram at ConsumerHallaTV, and also YouTube. The subscription is very free at ConsumerHallaTV, where you can join our live broadcast every day to listen to news, other interesting talk shows that I'm very sure are impactful and as lesson filled as this one that you are on. See you guys next time. Until we meet again, the same station and every same time on Mondays, 5 o'clock to 5:50 p.m. Thank you for joining us on Healthy Living on ConsumerHallaTV. My name is Kikelomo Ajibola.
It's a Monday like Friday. Good afternoon and welcome to the first edition of Product Review on ConsumerHallaTV. This is where we inform all potential buyers about the merit and drawback of product. I am Ire Ayomikule Eke, and this program will be airing Mondays and Wednesdays from the hour of 1:30 to 2 p.m. It's a 30-minute power-packed program, and today being the first edition of the program, we'll be talking about mobile phone. And in reference to mobile phone, all thanks to science and technology, it has made it evolve to the usage of mobile phone in the world today. And mobile phone is one of the key elements of communication. You know what I say about communication? Communication is the key. And when we're talking about one of the key elements of communication, we have to make reference to mobile phone. And on this program, Product Review, there will be features of guest appearance. There will be expert analysis on each field pertaining to the review of products we'll be making. And today, like I said earlier on, we'll be talking about mobile phone. Just before that, note please, all the review we'll be doing on this program is based on transparency and loyalty. It's not based on critics. Please note that so well. And all the things we'll be talking about on this program is based on accurate data and facts. And back to the matter on the program, we'll be talking and discussing about mobile phone. And according to research in Africa at large, Nigeria has the highest number of smartphone connections, followed by South Africa and Kenya. The introduction of mobile phones in Nigeria was a significant step in the country's technological advancement, starting in 2001 under the administration of the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo. And the first GSM call was made by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, in person of Dr. Ernest Nduke, using a Nokia device, and this marked the beginning of a mobile telephony revolution to date. And in the world of different manufacturers of mobile phone taking its place in Nigeria phone market. On the program today, discussion will be based on the two most leading smartphone brands. And in context, we're talking about Apple and Samsung. Looking at both brands, they just released two latest versions. For Apple, they released iPhone 16 series, but specifically, we'll be reviewing iPhone 16 Pro Max. And for Samsung as well, they produced their latest series, but we'll be reviewing Samsung S25 Ultra. So practically on the program today, the review will be on iPhone 16 Pro Max and Samsung S25 Ultra. And you know what they say, that it takes an expert to analyze a product. On the program today, we have a gadget guru, a CEO of Uttermost Source Technology in person of Esho Sukomi Oluwatobi. It's a pleasure to have you on this program this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
I'm very sure it was not stressful to get here.
Not at all.
Okay, without wasting much of our time, talking about these two brands, Apple and Samsung. What do you have to say about these two brands, Apple and Samsung? Are they the leading brands in the world of telephone today?
Yes, they are. Yes, compared to the Pixels and the rest of it, iPhones, Samsungs are 100% well qualified on the high standard of leading phones in the world today. Because yes, they give durabilities. They give the encompasses of the hardware, the software, and the battery life, the display standard, and the durabilities, which is amazing and wonderful. What iPhone can give out there, it's very less other phones can, and what the Samsung can give concerning the features and the factors of it, like let me get started with the Snapdragons. Okay. The high level of processors are much more sophisticated. They can multitask, they have multifunctions and so many other features included. And with this with the mega, even with the fact they have the high level megapixels of camera, which that yes, it's smooth in experiences and stabilities, and they have for the iPhones, they have high level of all video stabilities, which that yes, it is neat, stabilized and clean with no errors, and most likely it's very attractive to customers, and regardless of the prices being sold, people will always, in the world today, iPhone is number one leading. Okay. It's not a controversy. It's not debating. Number one, and the secondly comes to Samsung. Number third goes to the Pixel, Google Pixel 9 XL. So what iPhone can give, the rest can't. Because the high level of securities, compared to the Samsung, it is under open source. You can build your custom ROMs and every other things, but the iPhones only have the VI, which is is high level of security, the iCloud and the rest of it. Nobody has access except strictly Apple. Even with the police, you can't get it except the rightful owner of the iCloud have the only access to his own iCloud. You see the level of their strength is way too high. Accuracies and all that. Even though you splash water on it, they've done it to the point that yes, it's nothing affected. So the two phones, Samsung and iPhones, they are wonderful and excellent in use.
All right, thank you for that beautiful one. You being a phone store owner, and in the world whereby everyone has literally turned to a content creator, especially in Nigeria, I would say 90% of the youth have now turned to content creator. They're not create content in one way or the other. When you see TikTok, you see them there, Instagram, all social media platforms. You as a CEO of a gadget store, which one will you advise all the content creators out there to go for?
I would rather advise everyone to go for an iPhone. iPhones are economy usage, in the high level of productive and durable. Yeah, they're economical. I'm sorry. The high level of usage, their display resolution is way awesome. When we're talking about content creator, most likely you go for the video aspect of it. And in terms of iPhone, they capitalize on that video. They give high level of quality. When we're talking about the retina display, A16 Pro, A17 Pro standard. So they give exactly what customers need for in terms of video. Look into the portrait, you can control it in excellent features. You don't have any reason to start going through online to check on how to, it is very easy, very, very preferable and excellent. So in terms of Samsung, they made it like very smooth, accurate, and balancing in terms of stability. It's not something that, yes, they'll give you things, you start looking for a corner to start snapping things. You can as well snap from the very beginning to anywhere and get you accurate features. You know, these companies are wonderful. I appreciate them, yes, so much.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for that detailed analysis there. You know what they say, that it takes an expert to analyze. And on the program, this is Product Review, the first edition of it does. And on the program, we have the CEO of Automotive Source Technology, person of Assure, Sukomi Oluwatobi. He's my guest on the program, and in reference to the content creators out there, he's saying you should go for something that would portray all your works well done. And in reference to that is making well detailed about iPhone, that iPhone is best when it comes to videography and content creation. And now let's get it down about those two brands, Apple and Samsung. Is it that both phones are trying to be competitive in the market, or the motive are far beyond from competition?
Yeah, like I said earlier, they are both looking forward to be the best to rule the world. They are looking forward to, you know, like taking chances. But one thing I need to let you know is people are, while balancing things, they check in terms of the display, in terms of the processor, in terms of the RAM, in terms of the features and the multitasking. You know, A16 standard, the A16 Pro, the A17, their wide scope and high level of imaginations are very, very, very tremendous. Then when it comes to the Samsung, we are going into the idea of Snapdragons, we are Exynos, we are going to the MTK standard. You know, all those standard comparison, it's not balancing according to their scope or their reasoning, or how they balance it, you know, scales of preference and how they balance it. In terms of the Snapdragons now, you know, Snapdragons exactly give you the high level of features that you can balance it while using it. It's more or less like a dedicated system. You know, when we're talking about dedicated graphic systems, and you know, it gives something related to like Core i7, Core i9, which you know that yes, you can work a lot without you having a shake. That is more or less like a Snapdragon. It accepts a lot. You know, you can do as much on it without a blink. But when it comes to the idea of A19, it can be used for a lot of laboratory works. You can as well use for a lot of high level of quality works, you know. So they are both on a very, very tremendous balance. They are doing excellent. But as a matter of fact, we should know actually that the youth of today prefer something that, you know, they can play games with, they can relate with, and that is something we're consigning the security standard. You know, when we talk about iPhone, the high level of security, nobody can just get into it without your own thumbprint. You know, so much more. Yeah.
All right, thank you for that beautiful word. You as a CEO, when it comes to phone accessories and gadgets, which one will you advise anyone to go for if they are seeking like a kind of professional advice?
My advice for my Nigerians, my people, is to go for an Apple, because Apple, it's much more durable, it's much more easy usage. You know, when it comes to verifications of life, you know, the camera standard.
Are you talking about what you're saying now? Are you saying it from the aspect of you being a professional when it comes to gadgets, or you're talking about you being an individual?
And when I'm talking about this, I'm talking based on my own, based on the requests. You know, when it comes to people, to testimonials and everything, I realizes that people intend going for the iPhones rather than, because when it comes to iPhones, some might just come up with my phone needs viruses and all that. There's nothing related to viruses on iPhones and Apple. You know, there's nothing related to that. So they do in a way that is customer consuming. But when it comes to iPhones, you know, when it comes to Samsung, sorry, you know, it's GUI. You know, when we're talking about that, it is a custom standard that anybody can build up something. So people are coming up with a lot of manipulations. You know, so in terms of that, people strictly believe in iPhones. Like, okay, when we're talking about productive, security, durability, and every other reason. So I preferable tell them to go because it is more cheaper in use and it's affordable.
All right, thank you for that beautiful one. Let's talk about the features of this phone. Can you explain what the features of this phone is all about when it comes to their functionality? Talking about this phone placed on review on the program today, talking about iPhone 16 Pro Max and Samsung S25 Ultra.
Yeah, when I started relating to, when I sat down, checked and balanced, I discovered that what an iPhone can give, it's way too much. I saw a lot that if I should, in this place, it won't end today. I noticed the
I wouldn't give you money, right?
I know. It's because Apple are wonderful in making. They are just way too amazing. That's why I have to be honest with you. I am a testimony because I sell Apple, I sell at Samsung, but in comparison, Apple it's wonderful, and the order alone is way too much compared to Samsung. So back to what I said, iPhones. This to me, the way I sense it, iPhones, their level of processors, it's just the way expected. It's more or less that you can discover a lot in it. They make it known to everybody. In terms of the cameras, you know, they give their mega pixel, their retina display, their standard, their audio is just stabilized, you know. Their video level is just stabilized. They do things in sense that you can see yourself in like a mirror. You know, that is an iPhone standard. You know, accuracy, accordance and all that, it goes straight. But when it comes to the Samsung aspect, you know, the video, it's not what they work on. They work on the major camera, but you can take from their display aspect, you can take it that far to any standard, you know. So to me, I see iPhone as just way too wonderful in terms of usage, in terms of production, in terms of content creations, and so many more.
All right, thank you. Our guest on the program today, the CEO of Utmost Suspect, in person of a show, Oluwasukomi Olutobiloba. You know what they say, that it takes it interesting to be informative, and this program, of course, is well interesting and it's well informative, but it's about the time to pay some bills. Let's go on a commercial break. It's product review, the first edition of it at that on ConsumerHallaTV, and I am Ire Ayomikule Eke. Keep it tuned, we'll be right back.
Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing, right to return goods, right to product labeling, right to fair dealings, and a lot more.
Well then, have you heard about the new media channel?
ConsumerHallaTV.
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 At ConsumerHallaTV, our goal is to inform and educate consumers in Nigeria with insightful news alongside development within the fast-paced world of consumers through well-researched, specialized, and analytical content.
Our vision at ConsumerHallaTV is to create an engaging platform that provides right connections for meaningful brands in Nigeria, thus creating a more caring world for consumers where business thrive.
And guess what? Our ConsumerHalla brand is the first consumer complaint resolution portal in Nigeria, powered by a 72-hour feedback mechanism. We offer consumer advocacy, informative talk shows, branding promotions, advertising, and lots more. Connect with us via our YouTube channel at ConsumerHallaTV. Follow us on our Facebook page, ConsumerHallaTV, our Instagram page, ConsumerHallaTV, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscription is free. ConsumerHallaTV. At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
It's a bright Monday morning. Good morning, and welcome to Consumer Analytics on ConsumerHallaTV. This is where we analyze all issues that pertains to consumers or issues that consumers are experiencing. I am Iri Hayomi Kuleke. Good morning.
And this is Consumer Analytics. It is a program that helps consumers gain insight about goods and services preferences and needs. This program helps to enhance customer experience, increase loyalty and retention, drive revenue growth, and also improve the marketing effectiveness. I am Ajibola Kikelomo. Good morning. And welcome to the show. Good morning, Iriam.
Good morning, Kikelomo. It's so nice to have you on the program.
Yeah, so nice to have
you. You look beautiful, I must say.
Thank you very much.
All right, without wasting much of our time, today on the program we'll be talking about a minor infraction on the face of consumers out there that we have seen as a norm in the country. And this brings the topic service failure. And talking about service failure, it has been petty offenses that we have normalized in Nigeria. What do you think about this, Kikelomo?
Service failure is something that is actually very normalized, even though it's not supposed to be because of the inconveniences it brings. Sometimes you're making a call and then very, very important conversations. It may be an interview, it may be something that deals that is like it's related to emergency, and then you're talking to the person, the phone just drops on you, and you're trying to call the person again. Immediately the phone drops. It's telling you pum pum. I don't know that pum pum sound.
The funny sound.
It's so it's kind of annoying sometimes. You just want to probably okay, what's going on? And then sometimes when you reach out to these people to complain to them, they will always tell you, we are so sorry. The sorry is like
sorry, let's say we've lost count of the stories they said.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience. You're inconveniencing me. I don't need to say I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Tell me you're going to fix my problem immediately. They can't give you a reason to say, okay, we're going to fix it, because they're not even sure if they're going to fix it. And sometimes also in Nigeria, we may have a complete blackout from maybe MTN service or Airtel service for 2-3 days. Nothing to explain for it. They're just I don't know, maybe the hair, the sky, the network is something. It's just the ridiculous excuses every time, and we need to do better about it.
Of course, yes. And in addition to what Kike just said, when it comes to service failure in Nigeria, of course, we do think maybe the telecommunications or the bank network are the only one that are very keen about service failure. When it comes to that, some people, even in regards to services out there, some people are frequent, they're so keen about service failure.
Yes.
For example, now some fashion designers out there maybe don't just this layer that we just.
No, I think the people that have the entrepreneur people.
The entrepreneur.
Yeah,
yes.
The handwork people like mechanic, vulcanizers, your plumber, people that come to your house, so they render services for you that are not really the office standard. They do that also, especially the tailors.
The fashion designer.
The disappointment. I can't imagine taking my layer outfit to somebody and then they're disappointing me. Even though you have taken it to them 2 months prior, they still have excuses for why they have not done it.
And to them, they might not know that that is a customer dissatisfaction,
It
because
is actually.
the moment you tell your consumer or your customer that, okay, I will meet this, the deadline of this thing is this actual date, and you know the actual date here comes, and you go there and they're telling you, or they are not meeting up to the demand, it's a customer dissatisfaction. And on the long run, something like that can draw the setback of the organization or the entrepreneur back.
It would actually, because and I think the reason why these fashion designers, because they don't call themselves tailors anymore.
It's
They're not
fashion designer.
designers. The fashion designers, most of the time you can't get like a good fashion designer, so you are probably stuck with that particular person, no matter the amount of time they disappoint you, no matter the amount of time they've done it, because many people just learn handwork. They are not really like professional. They're not really well skilled in it. So when you get someone that is very, very skilled, it's very hard for you to just say, oh, let me move away from this person. Because where will you get a better person? Like when I was in school, I used to have a fashion designer. So now she stays in Ibadan. I stay in Lagos. Am I going to be transporting my outfit, my clothes, my material to her in Ibadan, and I still transport it back to Lagos?
You know, if you love a design, if you love a craft, you can actually do it.
I do love it. I stopped recently because I found somebody else that is in Lagos, because it took me like 3 years or 5 years for me to get this new person.
That's consistency.
So for you to tell me that you are disappointing me, but because I'm not seeing a good person, yes, now I have to still be stuck with you. That is why you think it is a norm, because people cannot really easily move away from those particular people that are causing this discomfort. Because they're already used to it and they feel like, oh, they are better. Until you now find a better somebody, and it's very, very hard to see most of those things sometimes.
You're very right. And Kike Lomo, if we are going to be realistic here, can you bring any instance of service failure that you've heard about, or you yourself, you've seen?
Of
you know, you're a
course.
woman right now, and I'm sure on this table, your gender has a lot to say. So so I guess you have something to say about it.
Of course, a lot of times. I can imagine me having, I think there was a time, I think last week, me and you were having a conversation on the phone, and then the phone just drops. And I think I called you like 4 times after that. It wasn't going through. And it was work-related issues. And so imagine me having that kind of discomfort. I'm not done with having this conversation with this person, and then this. And there was a meeting yesterday that I had to join, and my line kept dropping. My own call kept dropping. Sometimes I can't hear them. Sometimes it's like there's like this this buzzing sound going around that you can't even hear yourself. And also the fact that wherever you are, the sound also pick everything. So if everybody's mic is on, it's like a disruption to the service also.
It's very sensitive.
So those are the kind of things that we really need to work on as people in the country, because of these are people that patronize you. So why not make things very, very more convenient for them, instead of you saying, I'm sorry for the inconvenience every time?
You're very right, Kike Lomo. Thank you for that one. And let's look out for the online market as well. You know, all these apps where we order stuff from. I guess they are keen with doing it as well. You might order a product today, and they will tell you, okay, in the next 24 hours it will get to you. And you know, it's beyond it. The 24 hours has come, has gone, and you are still anticipating. You are still waiting. You are, looking out of the window, out of the box. When is my, my order? When is it coming in? I think the online market as well, they have to, make a evaluation about this. I guess this talking about service failure, it has to do with something about insight. You know, they say charity begins at home.
Yes.
So they have to look out for what is the cause of we not, meeting to the demand of the consumer satisfaction or the customer satisfaction. They have to look at it. Okay, if it is it time? If it's time, okay, they will know how to add more extra time for the consumers or the customer. And if it is something they can work to internally, they would work it on themselves. And if it's something that has to do with the external, they will put it out there and apologize. We see some instances whereby some brand owners or some manufacturers out there, if they see that they can't meet with the demand of what they're doing, definitely they would have to put it out there to the public, okay, we apologize, we'll not be meeting with this demand for this particular time. So some people do it.
I don't think, they do, but I don't think most of them actually regard the consumers. They don't really regard the consumers.
And that's another problem.
They feel so comfortable in their zone. They feel like, okay, where are you going to? Like you now having like 4 service providers in our country, MTN, Airtel, 9 Mobile. 9 Mobile is not really even that relevant anymore. And what's it called?
I understand.
What's it called?
I understand.
The last one, I think Glow.
Okay.
Because I think for Nine Mobile people, my mom uses Nine Mobile, and sometimes she will tell me, oh, for 3 weeks the service is not going. For 5 days the service is not going, and a lot of people keep complaining about Nine Mobile. So for us to just have this four service provider, if you move away from MTN, Airtel will still do the same thing to you.
I understand.
If you move away from Airtel to Nine Mobile, it will still do the same thing to you. So you rather stick to that thing that you're already stuck with, because you don't have any other place to run to say, okay, there's another place that's going to that improves a lot more than this particular one that I am with. And talking about the online people, I think those ones are even the biggest problem that we have. They actually do not care, because most of this online don't have a physical office. So it's not as if you can easily
walk in to lodge your complaints there.
I can't relate. Going here to go and sometimes where you're even ordering from is very, very far from where you stay.
And you know, sometimes it might be like in Kogi and the head office is in Lagos.
Yeah,
so how do you do it?
Actually do that? I could remember there was a time that I ordered one eels from, I think it was a Jumota market, and they told me that in the next I asked them before I paid. I'm like, can I get this thing before 5 o'clock, because I needed it that day. I was at the place and I needed heels to just go where I'm going to, and I'm like, okay, can I get this heels like very, very soon? They're like, oh no, don't worry, this and that, you're going to get it. Trust me, when you make that payment, you become like a game in their hands. They will start toying with you. I called this guy countless of times, and I got my heels the next morning. So you couldn't use it for what you wanted to use it for that particular day? I actually go to a market very, very close by. I was doing, I don't want to go to the market, it's too sunny, blah, blah, blah.
I can feel your pain. I can feel your pain that they apologize.
They didn't apologize.
No, I'm apologizing on their behalf.
Okay, no, don't apologize.
Because I know what that pain,
it's very, and I can't relate to that pain. My money, because I don't need the use. I already got another one. So they did not refund it. They said they don't make refunds. So.
And also, some companies out there also fail to respond to consumer complaints. You know, there are lots, but just to not mention names. You know, when there is a service failure, they do not, meet up to the demand. So I guess, please, to all the goods and service providers out there, I think service failure is something we need to work towards too, and we can eradicate it. And also, in looking at how we can eradicate service failure, there should be proper feedback mechanism, and there should be a very good employee training. I'm sure right there, when all those things are done, I think there will be a perfect solution to service failure. What do you have to say?
You're actually right on that one, and I also think analyzing service performance will put an end to it, and also by leveraging technology to automate tasks, improve response times. Yeah, that's true, because I feel like if they have I think they do, but they just don't really regard consumers. Just like I say, it's not every time they want to respond to you, even when you make a call. It's another topic entirely, that when you even call these people, they'll put you in waiting line for more than 45 minutes sometimes. I don't know if you've experienced it before.
I have.
You will call your service provider or bank or somebody that you want to make a complaint to, and once you're talking to them, you call them, they would actually delay you for 30, 15, 20 minutes. You are listening to their ringtone, them telling you, please wait, somebody is busy. I don't know if there is a shortage of staff, or is the fact that they don't pick up the call early,
or the employees are not well trained,
or they are trying to eat from your airtime balance, because you're not calling them with free airtime balance. You are calling them with your airtime balance. So trust me, you need to recharge your phone to the maximum.
I know how that feels, and later on you just end the call and just forget about it. So I think right now the organizations, the brand owners right there need to work solely on service failure, because it's something we've seen at norms. And now it's time for us to move to another section of the show titled Resolution Box. But before we move, Kike Lomo, let's have your last take on the program today.
I just think we need to do better as a country, and also as people in higher places. We need to look into it. I feel like the government can make regulations also into this, because if this continues to go, many of us are living in very, very much discomfort. Even though we don't want to, we don't always, like, Nigerians feel like we don't really have a say. So whatever comes our
But
way.
we do have a say.
We do actually, but whatever comes our way, we take it like that. So it's not really something that people really care about anymore. We may be talking about it this morning and it's paining somebody in their room, but they'll be like, what can I do about it? There is really nothing I can do about it. So as the service providers, bank, marketers, retailers, online, please, we need to do better about these things.
Right now, we've come to the end of the show, Consumer Analytics. The next program right here is Resolution Box. Thank you for stepping there. We'll be right back. A big thank you, Kikelo Majibola, for being on Consumer Analytics with me, guys. Join us same time. That is on Wednesday on another edition of it. And now welcome to Resolution Box. I am Ire Ayo Mikule Eke, and also I have with me.
Ire Mufe Kofrola.
Oh, it is let's say Ire Square.
Yeah, sure.
It's time for the Ire, the both Ires to shine.
Yeah,
you're looking good. You know.
What will I say?
I love the chocolate. You know, the touch of black. It speaks so well.
I mean, when I saw you this morning, I was like, is it time for your wedding?
Oh. All right, this is Resolution Box. Good morning, guys. It is the extension of Consumer Analytics, and this is a platform where you as a consumer can report issues concerning, or you can report any complaints that you have about a product or service. And right now, let's start from this perspective. Resolution Box right now. We are talking about service failure. When it comes to service failure, we know that a lot of manufacturers and a lot of brand owners are a victim, or to, let's say, are to be. I don't want to use to be blamed, but are all victims of service failure. What can you say about it?
You see, when it comes to service failure, it's a whole lot of things, because there are so many factors that you have to put in place. Because at the end of the day, those who are the receiving end, it's on the consumers, because you are the one who gets a product or service. So whether that product will fail or not, it all depends on who manufactures the product. Then at the end of the day, who is to be blamed? It's the manufacturer. Though there are some circumstances you cannot control, but if I for instance now, if I get a product from you, the main reason I'm getting the product is because I trust you so much, and I believe that that product will serve me right. Then what happens if at the end of the day, it does not serve me based on my expectations? Then something is wrong somewhere. So I know we are all victims of it, one way or the other. I personally I've experienced it. You've experienced it from different quarters. We've all experienced it. So I mean, it's what I don't think it's what we can completely eradicate.
And also, Resolution Box, it's a way for companies to get feedback. What can you say about it?
Yeah, this is Resolution Box, and from the name, you get to know that it's basically all about providing solutions to problems or challenges or problems that consumers might have experienced in the course of getting a particular product. So our duty here is to ensure that companies are able to get feedback of what consumers have complaints about, and in the process there is resolution also. It's not it's common in Nigeria, but you get feedback as a complaint, or I mean whosoever is getting the feedback, but most times you don't get resolutions to these problems. I can lodge a complaint now and say, okay, this is what I've experienced in the course of using this particular product, and in the long run nothing is done. So one beautiful thing,
even if they pick your call or they attend to you,
don't even go there. There are times you even call, you make several calls, nobody is picking up, and at the end of the day, even if the call is picked, there's this nonchalant attitude of I mean, you understand? So it is not just you complaining now, you get resolutions to your problems, because Resolution Box, one thing we do is that we follow through and we ensure that yes, we bring justice to whatever the issue is.
All right, the program is just getting started, and in addition to all our viewers right there, you as a consumer, you have the right to lodge all your complaints on this program, and you can be a partaker. You can be a partaker of this conversation, and this is the way companies can get feedback to address problem. And the main motive behind Resolution Box is to resolve any inefficient, dissatisfaction that consumers are getting. So let's go on a commercial break. We'll be right back. It's Resolution Box on ConsumerHallaTV.
Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing, right to return goods, right to product labeling, right to fair dealings, and a lot more.
Well then, have you heard about the new media channel?
ConsumerHallaTV.
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 At ConsumerHallaTV, our goal is to inform and educate consumers in Nigeria with insightful news alongside development within the fast-paced world of consumers through well-researched, specialized, and analytical content.
Our vision at ConsumerHallaTV is to create an engaging platform that provides right connections for meaningful brands in Nigeria, thus creating a more caring world for consumers where business thrives.
And guess what? Our Consumer Hala brand is the first consumer complaint resolution portal in Nigeria, powered by a 72-hour feedback mechanism. We offer consumer advocacy, informative talk shows, branding promotions, advertising, and lots more. Connect with us via our YouTube channel at ConsumerHallaTV. Follow us on our Facebook page, ConsumerHallaTV, our Instagram page, ConsumerHallaTV, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscription is free. ConsumerHallaTV. At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
Welcome back from that commercial break. This is Resolution Box on ConsumerHallaTV. Before we press further, please do well to follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, and please do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, ConsumerHallaTV.
Oh yes, do well to subscribe, and this is Resolution Box. It is a way for companies to get feedback and address problems, aiming to resolve them efficiently and improve customer satisfaction.
Yes, you are right about that. And on Resolution Box, consumers can typically submit complaints or issues, and of course, we would track the status of their complaints, and also they'll get to updates on all resolution progress. And right now, let's look at some issues on service failure. Yes, let's look at issue. Which one have you had, and which one have you fall victim of?
Personally, I've actually fallen victims of many service failure, and one that is quite common is with let me say the telecommunication sector, whereby sometimes you just have to make calls, and in the long run, I mean, they are not able to really identify the challenges you have. You might recharge, and you have issues with that, or sometimes your data, it's not really connecting and all that, so you need resolution on that. And at the end of the day, you just realize that you call, maybe the call is on hold, or nobody's really attending to the issue. Sometimes there was a particular period I could not use my SIM to call. It was like I was really bad from calling and all that, so I was trying to just like call the customer service. It took them a very long time before they could actually pick up, and when they pick up, they're like, okay, we'll put you on hold now. I had to hold on before, in the long run, the customer service representative did not even know what to do. So and at that point, I needed to make a very important call for cogent reasons, and I could not do anything because I was bad from calling, and it was important for me to call. So that is just something so ridiculous.
How were you able to solve this issue?
Because at that time I didn't know what to do, so I felt it was normal for, in Nigeria you experience all those kind of things, and you just like,
I think that is the issue. We consumers out there, we've normalized service failure as something that, okay, is bound to happen, and we do not pay attention to all these things, which is not meant to be actually. I guess we consumers, we have a lot of work to do ourselves. We are meant to start taking all this the satisfaction up, and take it up squarely until they do something about it.
Yeah, that is why our resolution box here, we identify challenges, and it's a great opportunity for us to throw it out there, and it's a way for companies to just improve on their products. Nobody's throwing shades at anybody here. It's just to understand that, okay, as consumers, even being on this show, we are consumers, we consume different things, and it's for us to know that one way or the other, probably you being the manufacturer or brand in question might not know what your consumers are facing out there. And so when they face these things, you get to know, and not just, the issue is you don't just know, how do you prefer solutions to these things? So like now on this show now, there have been many cases that we've been able to highlight. You understand?
Please bring it on.
Yes, we highlighted them, and we, through our help, consumers have been able to get that preferred solution. It's not just you preferring solution now, what they preferred, because in long run, for instance now, there was a time somebody was meant to travel, and the tickets, there were issues with the tickets, and there was no communication from the aviation company,
the traveling
agency and all of those things. So I mean, she kept reaching out, nobody was doing anything. Then in the long run, she got to know about how we help to resolute issues and all of those things. So she reached out to us. So the first thing we okay, we asked for detailed information about how everything, when she purchased the tickets, when she was meant to travel and all of those things, the steps she had taken. Because you don't just come and just say, okay, these are the issues. We get detailed information about it. Then in the long run, we started processing it. We reached out to the company, and it took them like 72 hours to respond. And because they know that we were just like an intermediary between them and their customer, so they had to spring into action. So they decided they had to track everything, and in the long run they had to refund our money. So that is one of the important things we do. They refunded her money, and she was able to, she got satisfied. So that was a preferred solution to it.
Okay, to expatiate it better about what Irimofe is talking about, he's talking about Consumer app. But of course, we will still expatiate about the app more later on the program. And for those of you who are watching us right now, you please do well to call the numbers that you're seeing on the screen, and you can be a partaker of the conversation, and also you can be a partaker of the program. You've had it all on Resolution Box. This is where you as a consumer lodge complaint, and we make sure your complaints are heard. So please free to call the number you're seeing on the screen to be part of the conversation. And now let's talk about this traveling agencies as well. Service failure is if we're looking at one sector or one industry, the service failure is so paramount or has a high rate. The traveling agency is one. If they're not number one, they'll be number two. They must be on the top five.
Yeah, traveling agencies, telecommunication, and banks in general, the banking sector. You see, these three sectors, I don't really understand. It's like they are competing with
service failure.
Service failure because at different points in time.
Is it that the way they are competing, is it that maybe later on there will be an award that, okay, you are the best service failure, because I don't understand.
Because, in all honesty, the banks, you need to really hear people complain. There have been issues we had to resolve, where customers complain about their banks for different charges. I mean, even sometimes when these charges, there are no needs for these charges. You just share that you have been charged. I mean, you understand. So people can just get to know that these issues, they are very common. You understand. So that's why they need to call and make complaint. And it's very important for them to understand these things. So the banking sector, it's important for them to note that their customers are complaining the same way aviation sector. You understand. They have to understand that their customers are complaining. So for the ticketing, it's not just tickets, delayed flights. That one is even so common, and they won't even communicate with you. There is no feedback.
And it's audacity for me. They will have to change your, if you think you're traveling on Monday, they have to tell you, okay, it's now been rescheduled till Friday.
Somebody was sharing with me, and I mean, the person was like, the main reason there's always delayed flights is because sometimes they have dignitaries they have to bring on board. So because in Nigerian thing, we African time and all of this. So when those dignitaries,
so is it that the consumers that are patronizing you are not dignitaries? I think looking at this service failure, there are some measures we need to start outlining, and the better for us to outline all these things, the better we start getting solutions. The moment we start realizing that we need to treat everybody equally, I think that would go a very long way when it comes to service failure. Definitely. Because look at the one you're saying right now, because rescheduled due to dignitaries. No. It's meant to be first come, first serve. It shouldn't be a problem.
It's not just the issue of you have to reschedule now. The issue is now that do you even communicate with your passengers? You communicate with your customers.
The customers.
Their customers are key. They are kings, and they need to be treated that way. We don't get to communicate. And if somebody is trying to raise the issue, you think it's normal. That's why there's some things we've brought to normalcy in Nigeria as if they are the normal things, but they are not normal. You understand? So for the aviation industry, there have been many complaints until date. There are still many complaints about the aviation industry. Then then go to the banking sector, you come to telecommunication. It's so ridiculous.
Okay, before we go back to that sector, I think social media as well has also impacted to the ways of service failure in Nigeria. Social media has really helped a lot. When people are experiencing customer dissatisfactions in one or two ways, they come to the social media to hence make their thoughts and their dissatisfaction known. And kudos to some manufacturers or some brands out there, they work towards it. But some people are so just nonchalant about it. They feel like they are not content. Why is it that way?
Well, it's because sometimes people have grown their brands to a point whereby they believe they are reputable and nothing can happen. You understand? It's when you believe you have many customers out there, you believe that, well, at this point in my life, I've paid the dues, so I mean, who's
But if you are not careful,
Ah.
you paying the dues does not mean you cannot people down.
oh, that's what they think, because they be like, if you go, it does not mean another person will
Soldier go,
come.
soldier come.
Exactly.
Okay, barrack remain.
And it depends on the kind of
But-
product. Also,
okay.
they believe, you know, there's some product that you get to use. For instance, if you are dealing in household items, you know that people get to use, they patronize you almost every time. I believe that if you go, another person will come. But if you believe so much in the reputation you built over the years, that should be told. Let's lay it emphatically. There are no ways issues will not come up, because sometimes it might be beyond your control. But what do you do when these issues come up? How do you treat your customers? How do you try to bring resolutions to their complaints, even when you are not in the know and they bring it to your notice that, okay, this is what has happened? How do you get to, you know, let them feel like, okay, we are sorry for what has happened, okay, this is what we get to do, and all of this. There's so many ways you can make your customers happy. So don't look at them as if they're important. Without them, you can't exist. That is it. You can't exist.
Yes, consumer dissatisfaction or customer dissatisfaction. I can say I can critically term it as critics. And the moment you, as a brand owner, you work on your critics, of course, you're going to be better.
Exactly.
And in the kind of a situation whereby you have tried to lay out, you as a consumer, you've tried to lay out your dissatisfaction, that you're not getting the pleasure you've paid for, and you've cried out on social media, and hence you're not still getting the proper result, then I think resolution box is for you. And that is where the numbers on the screen you're seeing right now is very important. You can please call in and let us know where you are getting that dissatisfaction, and be it any field, be it telecommunications, banking industry, be it the traveling, aviation, what have you that you're having a dissatisfaction from. Please do well to call the numbers on your screen. And now let's talk about Consumer Lab, because of course Consumer Lab, we are still working on it, and it's still coming back big and better. I can't wait for it. That is something
sure.
I'm anticipating for.
Yeah.
But for people to know about what Consumer Halla, we have some instances whereby, you know, there is a customer dissatisfaction, and, you know, it was later been settled. You were talking about the issue of traveling, and that was part of it. And also you were talking about this issue of you were talking about this issue of a woman, you know, try to, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that is the automobile complaint, the sector now, you know, different sectors with their own issues.
Okay, let's say different folk for different deals right there.
Yeah. So the woman purchased a brand new car from a particular company, of which I don't want to mention.
Of course.
And you know, you know, normally when you purchase a product, you get to read all of those things, you know, the agreements and all that. She was using the car, and it wasn't up to 2 weeks, the car started developing faults. And she reached out, she complained. Initially, they didn't come to pick up the car.
Okay, but before we go there,
Yeah.
why is it that when a consumer, you know, is sensing a dissatisfaction at one point in time, and you reach out to the customer care service online or what have you, or they put maybe on the label of the brand or something, why is it that when customer calls, they do not get the, you know, attention as at that point in time where the consumers need the attention? Why is it that way?
I think it's basically training. One of the problems is training, because I don't think these companies have really taken out their time to train
Their
their
employees.
representatives, because you know, they are the first contact of your business. They are representing you, so whatever treatment they get, the customers or consumers now, whatever treatment they get from them, it labels you. If they get satisfied, they'll come some other time. But if they don't get satisfaction, it will drive them away. You understand? So training primarily, because I mean, sometimes maybe I don't know, maybe they just employ them and you just give them kind of surface training and just tell them, because sometimes you even call these representatives, they don't know what to say.
Okay, about the representative, I think some are just, you know, naturally rude. Apologies about it, it is what it is, but I just have to be sincere. Some are just, you know, apologetically rude. I've seen some scenarios where some people will come to tell me that, okay, I'm trying to, okay, let me use telecommunications for example. Okay, maybe there is a unpleasant discount or something, when it comes to the airtime, the balance and all of that, and they're trying to call. You won't believe that they will call for a very long time and nothing will happen. They won't pick up this call.
Yeah,
gone are the days whereby when you have any dissatisfaction, you call the customer care line, they pick up immediately. I think the brand owners, the manufacturers, right there, need to do something. I think you're very right about you saying the employees are not well trained.
And I think another thing is empathy. Even apart from training, they lack empathy. Because if somebody is complaining something to you, and if you can put yourself in that person's shoes, I mean, their customers, sometimes they are angry because they expected more from you and they are not even getting, 100% of what you promised them. And somebody calls you angrily, it is your duty to empathize with them. Put yourself in their conditions and try to reason things out with them. But, most times they don't just do all these things. Their main concern is, well, at the end of the month, I'm getting paid. So if empathy is one thing they are really focused about, it's ingrained in them. They will really put themselves in the customer's shoes and try to provide solutions to them.
Okay, talking about the solution, let me relate this experience. There was somewhere at a bank. I wouldn't want to mention him right now on air. And I was there. I was trying to make a transaction, and then this woman came. She was very, very aggressive. If you see the scenario she created in the, I will not agree. You will see the other side of me today. No. She had to literally turn the bank, upside down. And when people were, in fact, most of the customers of the bankers were now coming to meet her. Madam, what is it? What is it? So I think some people who have known what the issue is all about, they know what the customers that we are in that scene to know what is happening. And they were like, Madam, please, just come. The woman was like, no, you people, you've killed me, you've murdered me, saying a lot of ill words to self. And when I later got to know what happened to her, I think she misplaced her ATM. And immediately she did that, she came to the bank. The first step she did, and the woman was right there, was she entered into the bank. She made an approach and lodged all the complaints. That, okay, my ATM, blah 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 blah, please do block it and all of that. She misplaced it, and misplaced is better. It's better to put it that she lost it as well. She misplaced it. She couldn't find it. So and they said, okay, we'll get to work about it. You won't believe that this bank did nothing, and the people who had access to the card were deducting money. They started with 10,000 naira. The moment she saw that 10,000 naira, she has lodged the complaint. In fact, even before the money was deducted, she went to the bank to lodge a complaint, and after doing that, they assured her that, okay, madam, no problem, no worries, we're going. We'll settle all these things out. And she left, and she said she was at a place of work, and she saw the debit alert of 10,000 naira, and she said she walked up to the bank. That, okay, this time, please let me do something about it. And they were like, madam, we thought you said you misplaced it, so we're still thinking that maybe you will find it. What are you still thinking in that kind of very scenario? So the woman told them that, fine, I told you I misplaced it. Maybe of course she said, according to her, she said, maybe she she wanted to make a transaction at the front of her house, and that was how everything. That was the last time she saw the ATM and all of that. And she said, okay, this 10,000 naira, I can still bear the loss. Please do the needful. Because if I had seen this thing, in fact, if you had blocked it, you just come and get another card. It's very, very simple. But you won't believe that they did not do anything until a big amount of money was debited. 100,000 naira.
Imagine.
That was a very big one, and the woman on that woman end is a debt already, because she was crying that money is meant for some people. Is she and some of her colleagues at the market, are doing all this contribution, and all of that, the treats and all of that. I know, and she's the one that is. Let's say she's the treasurer, and she's keeping that money, and that's kind of thing before her. You can see that obviously the bank had to be blamed.
I mean, this happens a lot, and I know of someone also that
But before you cite your instance, in that kind of scenario, I didn't get to know what later happened. But who do you think will bear the loss?
The bank should be held responsible because the woman, being a customer of that particular bank, reached out. She lodged a complaint, and that is what we are talking about on resolution box here. That it is, I mean, such issues are one of the kinds that we look into. You've made a complaint about what happened. The best thing you should do is act accordingly. Even if I don't misplace my card and I call you or I come to your bank and tell you that, please, I want you to block my account. You don't need to question me for that reason. I must have had reason for telling you to block
it. Okay, let me give you an insight. This is what happened to me. You know, I was somewhere and a cousin of mine had to borrow money from all this loan app and all of that. I never knew she dropped my name as maybe the next of kin or collateral or something or what have you there. And I was at work and I just received a call. Hello, do you know this person? Of course, she's my cousin. I can't deny her. It was later I got to know that at that scenario, you first try to deny people and you hear what the information they have to, tell you about, people that, And when I got the call, the person said, okay, do you know this person? I said, okay, she's my cousin. Okay, she borrowed this amount. Okay, she borrowed money. So I was thinking, okay, maybe it's something 2,000 or 2,000 again. And when I heard the amount, it was something that was very big for me. And I was like, okay, I didn't know when this my cousin came to you and borrow money from your app. So I know nothing. So why are you calling me? And when she used me as a collateral or whatever, or as a guarantor, or what do you call it? I was not there. She just dropped my number, and the next thing is just to pen my number down. And I said things are not done like that. And the next thing this person said was like, okay, no problem. You don't want to give us the attention, right? We will block your account.
Wow.
Oh look, okay. He said, we'll deduct all the money you have in your account from your account, and we use that, to replace the debt your cousin is owing us. And that moment, do you know, I walked to the bank with a call with my friends. When we got to the bank, it was already closing her. But and when it's 4, they do not attend to customers or consumers. But the moment we got there and we told them, the security men were like, okay, it's late already, come tomorrow and all of that. And we told them what it's meant to be. You believe that they attended to me at that point in time, at the accurate time, they gave me the attention that time, and I told them to block it, and they did block it.
Well, it depends on the bank, and it depends on how understanding they are. These issues are things that happen up several times, and one of the common issues with all these loan apps is, sometimes somebody, you get to, they lend you money, then in the long run, you're meant to pay at a stipulated period of time, then you do not pay. Then before you know it, they begin to make your posters all around, citing different things and all of those things. But as a consumer, you have your rights. You understand? That's just in a way to buttress your point concerning what you said. You understand? But another key thing is that in that kind of scenario, where that woman experienced that at the bank and she had already complained, what they were meant to have done was to, make sure that they give her everything that will satisfy her. They should have, at that point in time, they should have blocked their accounts. First, it was 10,000 naira. Who was going to bear the brunt of all of their carelessness? Because they were careless enough to allow, another amount of money, something huge, to have.
And some banks are very, very just stubborn and honest. They would not want to,
of course,
bear the consequences.
I was citing an example of someone that lost close to 1 million naira. The same way he said, they were even not passing the blame on him. They were like, probably you shared your PIN with someone or your BVN. And I was like, no, I didn't. They were like, maybe your OTP and all of these things. They were citing different just to clear, to shift blame. And the person was like, no. Until this person started taking some drastic measures to ensure that he was going to get his money. And so it's like you said earlier on, one of the sectors that these things, it happens the most, banking sector. You need to hear customers complain bitterly about issues they face with banks, and then they get no resolutions, no feedback, nobody is to be held responsible. I've been a victim to, just like you said. I was going to make a transaction, then though I was using the ATM at that point. At the end of the day, I realized that I was debited, but the person didn't get the money. So because I was using another bank ATM, so I went to that particular bank. I was using that ATM. They told me to go to my bank, of which I went to my bank. So when I got to my bank, they were like, they were going to trace it, they were going to do this and that. Then they told me which bank was I making the transfer to. I told them the particular bank. So they were like, so it's 3 banks were involved now, that they will have to trace it. The bank I was using, the machine, my bank, and the person to know. So I was like, okay, when should I come back? They're like, 2 weeks. I was like, 2 weeks? This money was it was needed urgently. So I had to go back again, like a week. And they were like, and they've lodged the complaint to the headquarters. They were the ones that were going to do this and that. Luckily for me, I got the money before 2 weeks. But not everybody would be so lucky, because I was at that bank when one POS agent came and was making complaint that somebody used her card to, she was the intermediary between the bank and the person, and now she was unable to get back her money. She was not refunded. Now this woman kept complaining like over a month, according to her at that time, and nothing was done. So these are issues that happen every time, and customers sometimes you just close your. There was a particular time a popular actress, she came online and she was like, oh, she just realized that they had to deduct 20,000 naira from her account. She didn't do anything. So like, please refund my money. Maybe because it was someone popular. She looked into it and all of those things. But this thing that they don't know that they are representing their brand in a very negative way. So as Resolution Box, what we do is to ensure that these issues are common. I mean, different cases, and we are so happy to always help out.
Of course, we are happy. I still started seeing a reference about something that happened to me too. Still talking about banks, because I know when it comes to the service failure, consumer dissatisfaction, I guess a lot of consumers out there. If we mention that, okay, mention an industrial sector where you are experiencing dissatisfaction, where you're not getting the pleasurable attention that you need. I'm very sure a lot of people will make reference to bank, if not bank, the telecommunications before moving to the online market, whereby you order, what I ordered versus what I got. That one is another story entirely. I've seen a lot of people like that. It's just like you going to a fashion designer, what I ordered for what I got. You saw it, like maybe you saw a style from Ibuka and you took it to your tailor. And
that one is even very common. That one is very common, because at the end of the day, okay, tell us oftentimes they often disappoint, because you tell them you need this clothes. I've experienced it a lot.
Okay, let me put you on the spotlight. Okay. You as a fashion designer, you are just getting started.
Okay.
And someone loves fashion, loves Ebuka, loves all this Instagram, fashion, socialite and all, and saw a very big, outfit. And you just learned within, maybe after school, you just learned within 6 months. And saw an outfit of maybe Ebuka is putting, or maybe the material cost like maybe 500,000. The outfit is like maybe the tailor will charge maybe 1 million. That's like 1.5 million. And we'll come to you. The material, the original material costs 50,000 naira. And this person is coming to you with a material worth of 5,000 naira, and he's telling you to, okay, do this outfit for me, and you charge him 15,000. You're like, no. If it's your person, if it's an Igbo man, I mean, you know this thing goes.
Yeah.
And later on, this person give you a sum of 5,000 naira, everything 10,000 naira, 150 to 10,000 naira. You can see that the line is just so in this kind of scenario, it happens a lot. Yeah. We see them on social media. We read all these things, but if we question these fashion designers too, if we are and welcome to ConsumerHallaTV News Highlight at 6. I am Iri Ayomikule Eke. Let's start with the highlights. The federal government has disclosed that it recorded 6.9 trillion in revenue at the end of April this year. On the foreign scene, the oil prices sank 3.5% on Tuesday after Israel said it had agreed to U.S. President Donald Trump's proposal for a bilateral ceasefire with Iran. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria has announced plans to increase tariffs for all service providers operating at its airport as part of efforts to improve its generation. 20 outstanding students of the University of Uyo in Akwa Ibom State will be selected to benefit from the OPE 1.2 billion naira via the 10-year scholarship program for Nigerian universities. The naira strengthened at the official window in the past week to 1,547 per dollar from 1,549 per dollar, supported by intervention from the Central Bank of Nigeria. Still on the news highlights, the managing director of P1 Plus, Julius Oyedemi, has debunked online claims by real estate critics Scott Iguma, tagging them as a company that lacks proper documentation. The Civil Defense, Correctional, Fire and Immigration Service Board, CDCFIB, has announced a nationwide recruitment exercise into 4 federal, palia and military agencies under its supervision. Still on the news highlights, let's take you to the Adamawa State. The Adamawa government in Adamawa State has signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with the World Bank for the construction of a recycling plant. The National Orientation Agency, NOA, has said that the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation of Nigeria Credit Corps will establish a unified credit system that can access the credit history of individuals. The Manufacturers Association of the Nigeria MAN has called on the Lagos State government to urgently reconsider its planned ban on single-use plastics, warning that the move could have far-reaching economic, operational, and social consequences for manufacturers, traders, and the end users. And right now, the federal government has pledged full support for a $400 million foreign direct investment FDI initiative to establish Africa's largest rare earth and critical minerals plant in Nasarawa State. The Industrial Medical Gases Nigeria PLC has received a shareholder approval to raise $6.5 billion through a rights issue as part of its broader plan. And now we come to the end of the highlight news at 6 at ConsumerHallaTV. I am Iri Ayomikule. Thank you for staying there with us. Good evening.
Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing, right to return goods, right to product labeling, right to fair dealings, and a lot more.
Well then, have you heard about the new media channel?
ConsumerHallaTV.
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 At ConsumerHallaTV, our goal is to inform and educate consumers in Nigeria with insightful news alongside development within the fast-paced world of consumers through well-researched, specialized, and analytical content.
Our vision at ConsumerHallaTV is to create an engaging platform that provides right connections for meaningful brands in Nigeria, thus creating a more caring world for consumers where business thrive.
And guess what? Our ConsumerHalla brand is the first consumer complaint resolution portal in Nigeria, powered by a 72-hour feedback mechanism. We offer consumer advocacy, informative talk shows, branding promotions, advertising, and lots more. Connect with us via our YouTube channel at ConsumerHallaTV. Follow us on our Facebook page, ConsumerHallaTV, our Instagram page, ConsumerHallaTV, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscription is free. ConsumerHallaTV. At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard. Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing, right to return goods, right to product labeling, right to fair dealings, and a lot more.
Well then, have you heard about the new media channel?
ConsumerHallaTV.
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 At ConsumerHallaTV, our goal is to inform and educate consumers in Nigeria with insightful news alongside development within the fast-paced world of consumers through well-researched, specialized, and analytical content.
Our vision at ConsumerHallaTV is to create an engaging platform that provides right connections for meaningful brands in Nigeria, thus creating a more caring world for consumers where business thrives.
And guess what? Our ConsumerHalla brand is the first consumer complaint resolution portal in Nigeria, powered by a 72-hour feedback mechanism. We offer consumer advocacy, informative talk shows, branding promotions, advertising, and lots more. Connect with us via our YouTube channel at ConsumerHallaTV. Follow us on our Facebook page, ConsumerHallaTV, our Instagram page, ConsumerHallaTV, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscription is free. ConsumerHallaTV. At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard. Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing, right to return goods, right to product labeling, right to fair dealings, and a lot more.
Well then, have you heard about the new media channel?
ConsumerHallaTV.
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 At ConsumerHallaTV, our goal is to inform and educate consumers in Nigeria with insightful news alongside development within the fast-paced world of consumers through well-researched, specialized, and analytical content.
Our vision at ConsumerHallaTV is to create an engaging platform that provides right connections for meaningful brands in Nigeria, thus creating a more caring world for consumers where business thrives.
And guess what? Our ConsumerHalla brand is the first consumer complaint resolution portal in Nigeria, powered by a 72-hour feedback mechanism. We offer consumer advocacy, informative talk shows, branding promotions, advertising, and lots more. Connect with us via our YouTube channel at ConsumerHallaTV. Follow us on our Facebook page, ConsumerHallaTV, our Instagram page, ConsumerHallaTV, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscription is free. ConsumerHallaTV. At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard. Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing,